Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Process Server and Messenger. My name is Nick, and before we start the show, I would like everyone to like, rate, review, subscribe, comment on the video, please, if you don't mind. Every little interaction, every click, like, review, everything, it all goes a long way and it helps me grow. I've been doing a lot of growth on my accounts, social media, and all that sort of thing recently. Been sticking to a pretty strict for me, pretty regular, engagement. I've been putting up a lot of content and working on it pretty hard. So, we're doing good. We're doing a lot better. When I first started, I'm not like a internet account growth guy. I don't know anything about that, but I'm using it for marketing purposes and like for my, building my brand and my business and all that. So I'm pretty new to it. And from where we started to where we are now, it's pretty all right. I'm pretty happy, proud of myself. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. I got a Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Process Server Messenger. There's a little more intimate content on there, more creative stuff, more personal stuff, more like a lot of videos up there, photo journal that I put up there. I like to call that photos from the field. And it's a little photo journal that I put up of. I'm a LA process server. I go to a lot of parts of LA and I take a lot of pictures of. It's a very beautiful place, scenic place. I also get to travel around the county a lot and go to places and eat at places and try new things. I'm more often in new places taking pictures that I like to put up on the Patreon. So go ahead and check it out. It's pretty creative. And that's the best way to kind of directly support me is to become a member on the Patreon, a paid member, please. We're growing here. It ain't cheap. But yeah, if you want to support, you become a Patreon member. It's patreon.com/Process Server Messenger. And then it'll give you access to a ton of really cool content that you're going to love and videos and creativity and all that. And it's a good time over there. So check it out. I'm always putting stuff up there that you can't get anywhere else. And please support it. It goes a long way. It really does. Everything goes a long way. Every click, every like, every comment, everything. It's a huge blessing. So it's a holiday season. Consider given the gift of a Patreon subscription. Patreon.com/Process Server and Messenger. And with that, I'm going to start the show. But before I do, guys, I made such a good intro today. I'm really locked in on this Adobe. These tools that they have. I got Premiere now. I'm starting to throw in a little bit of After Effects. When I first started doing this, I checked out After Effects and I was like, I can do everything that I want to do in After Effects in Premiere because there was like so little that I needed to do. So I have both. I have an Adobe subscription and that gives you access to these tools. You don't really buy them anymore. Back in the day, you would buy a CD at a Best Buy and then you would put it on your computer and then you'd have it. And now you have to subscribe to it and every year they give you a new one. It's worth it, I would say. It's expensive, but it's totally worth it because I use just about every Adobe product that they have where I try it or I open it and I check it out. And it's like overwhelming how much you can do, but it just depends on your skill and your experience. So I've been just barely recently, dipping my toe into Adobe After Effects, and I wanted to get to it for the holidays because I wanted to add snow. And as I'm saying this, I have like a sports show off in the corner right here, and they're using the same snow effect. I can like see it right now. So it's cool for me to see that. I can see that I'm using the tools of the pros and I'm getting better, and I'm so proud of this holiday intro. I got the Adobe stock now, so I'm licensing holiday music, just leveling up the podcast, and really proud of this intro. I hope you enjoy. It's a holiday I'm building it up more than it is. But for me, it represents, yeah, I'm using After Effects now. I'm learning stuff. I'm doing good. I'm on my way. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. I'm recording this on December 23rd, not quite a Monday episode that I want to put up usually, but it's a holiday week. The kids are home from school. It's like, I'm sorry, I wanted to put this up yesterday. I messed up the schedule. I'm sorry. I apologize. But come on, the kids are home from school. It's not really, the routine's like thrown off. The lesson is I got to pre-record these much, much more in advance than I am. And as much as I like doing the same day record and then post, I have to kind of maybe schedule a few episodes out a little bit better. So in case these scheduling conflicts come up, it's not a problem. Anyways, let's start the show. All right, welcome to Process Server and Messenger, a show where we like to talk about life as a process server, life as a messenger, and life as a small business owner, life as a guy on a bike, life as a guy in LA, life as a guy working, life as a guy just making stuff and content and running a small business. My name's Nick. I'm the host of the show, small business owner, California registered process server. Yeah, nowadays I'm mostly a small business owner. That's what I do mostly, is operate my small business. The process server stuff is, it's getting a little easier. That side of things is getting a little bit more manageable, a little bit easier. The small business side of marketing and growing, I'm getting to spend more time doing that. So welcome to the show. It's a show about that. And what did you think about the intro, the holiday intro, huh? How about that? A little bit of snow effect, a holiday rock and roll song. I guess maybe I could have lit up this tree back here, right? This guy, I could have put some lights on it. I like to have some computer effects and some, I guess they call them practical effects in the industry. Is that what you call it? When you have like props and stuff, physical stuff. Maybe I could have decorated back here a little bit better. Put some lights on the bike. Maybe that would have been all right. But I have everything set up in the other room over here. Next year. There's always next year. I got a couple more holidays coming up. We have New Year's. I can do a New Year's type thing. We have MLK Junior Day coming up in January. Let's look up what day that is. MLK Junior Day. Monday, January 19th. So we got a couple holidays coming up. It's always a good holiday. We're working on the effects. This is show 31. I think I've already made a lot of growth from the first show, and just keep the ball rolling. My thoughts on that intro thing I just made. I watched it, I put it together, and I felt good about it, and I shipped it, and I put it on the old program that I'm using here. And as I was watching it, I was like, that's a lot of snow. I think I used too much snow. I live in LA. I'm from Southern California. I don't see a lot of snow in my life. So I think what happened there was I had a chance to use the Adobe After Effects program to make snow, and I just made all the snow. I just made too much snow because I was so excited about snow. I don't get a lot of snow out here, obviously. Duh. So when I had a chance to put snow in, I think I did a little too much. I think I got to dial it back, work on the snow effect. That was the snowfall simulation effect. They also had another one that someone on the internet made a video about using, is the particle effect, and you can have like a greater control over what it actually looks like. But I'm not ready for that. I just went to the snowfall. That was fine. But maybe next time I'll have to dial it down a little bit and use slightly less snowfall. I think I went a little bit overboard on the snowfall. I was excited. I don't know. It doesn't snow a lot. That was my first chance to have snow for the holiday season. I went a little overboard. Sorry. We are getting a little bit of precipitation in Los Angeles, though. It's starting to drizzle. It's starting to rain. It's going to rain later today, I think, heaviest. It's going to kind of roll in, and I'm closer to the ocean, so I think it's going to probably roll in from the ocean and go east, or is it coming from north to south? I don't know. I'm not the weather guy. You can look it up, but it's going to be not a white Christmas. It's going to rain, and then I think it's going to rain a little tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens Thursday, Friday. It's going to slow down. I suspect by Thursday, that's the Christmas holiday. It's probably not going to be raining, but it'll probably maybe drizzle a little bit the night before. It started to drizzle earlier today, so we'll see. Drive safe. Holiday traffic's already bad. Driving with weather is, in Southern California especially, it always kind of adds to the traffic problem and all that. So, drive safe, everybody. I'm saying that more and more. I'm seeing a lot of stuff on the road, guys. It's holiday season, so people are driving to wherever they're going. And drive safe. That's it, especially in weather like this. So it's a Tuesday. We missed the Monday update episode. I have stuff going on. I'm busy. Sorry, guys. I'll do better next time. But we're doing Tuesday. So I thought I'd skip the Monday updates and just kind of keep this in holiday mode and keep it refreshed and relaxed. And, we'll do updates maybe back when, maybe in January. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have about 3 more shows or whatever. We'll get into January. We'll kind of get back into the regular schedule. Until then, I'm in holiday mode. We're going to podcast in holiday mode. We're going to working at full mode. Don't worry to any of my clients. Work is in full swing. I'm serving everyone everywhere. I got affiliates all over the country, serving registered agents. Don't usually do a lot of the work like that, and I'm not sure how to manage that, but it's becoming more and more of a area of growth for me. Just kind of specializing in serving, or at least for my branding and marketing purposes, that's my brand, is serving registered agents and specializing in just that, and keeping it cheap and keeping it effective and fast and keeping your proofs looking good. But I was trying to just focus on LA, Glendale, Southern California, where I'm at area. But I do have affiliates that I use in all over the place. But recently I've been being asked to serve, things in different states. So obviously I can't do that myself, and I have to rely on affiliate process servers. When that happens, I usually like to go to people directly. I don't dislike attorney service firms. I don't want to put any of that out there. It's just sometimes when you're an independent server, I don't know. It's just business stuff, man. Since I'm independent and I like to stay independent, I like to look for other people to use that are, if possible, individuals who I'm working with directly. That's kind of like my preference. I don't know what to say. I just trust that better, and I feel like I'm a process server and I'm out here operating. I would like to work with clients directly. That way, let's throw out a huge number out here just for an example, but don't worry. Let's say we're doing a job for you and it's $10,000. Okay. I'm just using a huge number because I want to feel fancy. Okay. Obviously these prices don't reflect anything, but let's say there's a job, $10,000. Okay. I don't want to have it inflated to 15 because there's 3 or 4 or 5 people passing it around and taking a little bit of a cut. I want to keep that down to as affordable as possible for the client and make sure as much of it as possible goes to the process server. I could be wrong. I don't mean to be like stepping on anybody's toes or anything, or what you got to do to make money and how you got to operate your business. That's fine. I get it. But I'm just saying how I operate personally is I would like to go more directly to a process server, give them the work with them directly, and just make sure that they keep as much of the money as possible. That's just me. So I got a couple of people that I'm using to serve registered agents all over the country in places I've never served or had documents before, but it's starting to come up more and more. Myself, I'm still going to LegalZoom, still going to CT Corp. I didn't go there today. I do have a number of documents that I'm going to take tomorrow. So I could have gone today. I'll probably have more work coming in for later today and tomorrow. And I'm going to just let that all build up and I'm going to go on Wednesday. I like to get out there every day, but I have to fit in time for everything. So if I need to get there same day, if someone's asking me to do something same day, I always have time. I always have time to get down to a CT Corp or a LegalZoom on a daily basis. But since the jobs I'm working on have a service deadline well into the future, I'm just going to hold that off until tomorrow and get down there. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, so they always say that traffic's like pretty bad on that day, so I'm going to have to be picky about when I go. They open at 7 a.m., so I might have to see LA traffic. It's always because there's going to be morning traffic for work, and then there's going to be, I bet you tomorrow's one of those days where it's just nonstop traffic all day because you're going to have the morning commute traffic. And then at some point in midday, you're going to have, and that can last until 9:30. And then you might have people even hitting the road to try to make the airport or get out of town. And then you're going to have people leaving the office early around noon. And then you're going to have people leaving to get out of town around 1, also another wave of people. And then people slowly starting to get off work. It's just going to be one of those nonstop traffic days tomorrow. So that'll be fun. I'm working out a way to make sure I can ride my bike down to CT Corp and LegalZoom. Haven't quite gotten there yet. But that's the plan for the future, to go more green, less traffic, more green. Not tomorrow, but in the future. So yeah, I'm going to be going down there tomorrow. Send me your work if you got any. I'll be there. So just email me, info@surfct.net. I'll be down there. I was there. Was I there yesterday? I can't even remember. I might have gone there yesterday. Yeah, nothing eventful. It's just nice. Glendale's nice. They got really good decorations, especially CT Corp and LegalZoom. You're right near a big giant shopping center down there. And so it's always festive. They got a bunch of nutcrackers, lights, Christmas decorations. That area of Glendale is really festive now. They keep that office nice and decorated. Big giant Christmas tree. So that's nice. No candies though. They don't do no candies at CT Corp. LegalZoom has candies, but LegalZoom, don't get mad. I'm just being honest. We're just here, okay? There's no comment on this. This has nothing to do with your business, okay? But you got like in the office like a tray of candies out, which is way better than CT Corp, but they don't got nothing. And a cookie would be nice for the holidays. Maybe for like a Halloween, they could put out like a ghost or a skeleton cookie, and then maybe a Santa cookie or a reindeer cookie or snowman cookie. Nothing, never. Which is fine, whatever, whatever. LegalZoom does have some candy out, but it's like fun size Twix. It's like fun size, maybe a Snicker in there. a couple of like lollipops that you get like at a barber shop, just like a blue lollipop, like a little Smarties guy. It's like, it's a weird assortment, and I appreciate that it's out, but LegalZoom, you got to step your game up in that department. And I would say also CT Corp as well, but you don't even have game in that department. At least LegalZoom, I'll give them the respect that they, I don't know, like they got something out for the process servers. They got some candy. It's not really a great, selection, but the Twix looks old. It looks like it's the same Twix every time I go there. But at least they got something. It's like a show of respect. They're not going to have nothing like that out tomorrow. And at CT Corp, they have like a glass window inside the office, so you can see all the minions working on the other side of the glass. And they always got like Portos or something. They always got something. It seems like a really cool place to work because they always got some sort of like office treat out for the people who actually work there. And nothing for the process servers. Maybe there's just too many of us coming in and out of there. You can't feed us all, I guess, but something for the holidays. I don't know. People are cutting back. Maybe it's just like a culture thing. People don't give out free food at office buildings as often as they used to. It's just not a thing. I guess maybe it's not sanitary. Maybe after COVID, people don't want to like have shared food trays or like old candies or old cookies out, which, when you say it like that, it sounds gross and bad. But in reality, it's like a nice thing. It's a little sugar boost. You go insert some documents, you come in, you grab a handful of chocolate candies, get a little boost, you hit the road, and you serve some more people. But that's not really how things are nowadays. Like you can't have anything nice. Can't have nice things anymore. And with that, there was something I did want to get into, and I kind of glanced over here at it. So let's get into it. I saw an article on a website. I saw it basically on Twitter first. It was this guy talking, and I'm going to mention some big political names. I'm not getting into big politics, but there's some key political players here and some, drama. So I'm not involved in that. I'm just telling you this is process server related, and I thought it was interesting. So it's not about that. It's about the process server. I saw the story, why Melania Trump is hiding from me. Michael Wolff's trying to serve Melania Trump and for whatever and whatever. We don't get into it. But he was talking about, what is the story? He went on a podcast and he talked about how it's not easy to sue her, not easy to serve her, and her attorneys aren't accepting documents for her, so they're going to have to serve her personally. And he says, it would appear that Melania Trump is hiding from me. People say that a lot. Oh, I think he's hiding or evading. She's certainly, I don't think she's hiding, but I understand the language. She's not like, hiding. I think that's a word that you use, but quite unclear how you serve a subpoena on someone who has the most elaborate security details in the world. Yeah. I mean, that's something you got to think about. That's just something you got to think about. It's got to be part of the equation. It's going to be hard to serve her. Absolutely. He's tried to serve the attorney, and they said, we're not doing that. You got to serve her. She didn't say it. They don't give us permission for that. That's what they're telling them. No, not accepting service at her lawyer's office. She had a process server to go to Trump Tower. Okay. I guess the story is that the process server took the job, and after he accepted it, he said, no, I think that's what he's saying here, that the process server took the job and then called him back and said no. Which so then they got another process server, and they went to the tower, and they won't let him up. Okay, see, this is where they're playing games, I think we're spotting a little gamesmanship here, because I'll read you the quote. We got another service company, and I'm not reading it directly. I'm reading the quote, but I'm messing up the words a little bit. I'll try my best to read it as close as possible. We got another process service company, and this was just yesterday. Two things were interesting. The guys at Trump Tower said, we're just going to throw that in the garbage. We're not taking that. But the question of whether Melania Trump resides here, they say yes. So now we have specific testimony by people who would certainly know that Melania Trump lives at Trump Tower. She does not live in the White House. Okay, that's the gamesmanship I think that this guy's playing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just saying I'm a process server, and I've been asked to serve famous people before. Maybe people as famous as Melania Trump, and people as political as her too. And I did what the first guy did. I said no. I think in one case, the one I'm thinking of, I just flat out said, no, I'm not going to be involved in this. Because you're a process server, you're really like in the middle of two giant entities clashing, and you're just going to be collateral. And that's how I see it. I could be wrong, but whenever you're trying to serve somebody big and political like this as a process server, it's kind of a red flag for me. Unless I know you directly, or like you have some sort of plan. I mean, you don't have someone at your office that works for you more intimately. You guys can't do this at a higher level you got to like farm this out to a third-party process server. I mean, that's my work. That's what I do. And even this, I'd say no. I'd be like the first guy. That's what I would do. I'd say, no, this isn't, I'm a business. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to serve people. I'm not trying to get, caught up between some stuff that I know one side is going to be incredibly difficult. And then I know my client is going to be, not going to be the easiest client. They're not going to be very helpful. They're sending them off. They're sending up some process server to go, try to convince the Secret Service to, it's like, you couldn't pay me enough money. I mean, I could ask for a lot, but you're not going to pay that. And like, I don't know. There's just no trust with the client. Like, I got to know you. Like, I got to be working with you. This has got to be like a strategy. My manager and me and the boss are working out a strategy to make sure we get something done. Okay, fine. But, you're just giving this to a process server to go knock on the door. I mean, the chance of success is zero. You know that. So at best, you tell your client, I'll do it because you want to have a record of attempting, but it's not going to get done. Like, that there's almost this I would say zero, but like maybe math statistics. I don't know. Use real math numbers. Maybe it's like 1%, but it's like, it's not happening. Okay. So maybe your client understands you're not going to get it done. They just want the diligence. Fine. But even, like I said, I've served somebody as famous and as political, or I've been asked to serve somebody as famous and political as Melania Trump, and I've said no. You don't want to get caught up in that. I served one guy who was just a regular attorney, and he was scary, and he threatened me. Not threatened me. Okay, sorry, he didn't threaten me. He was using lawyerly words to kind of get me to go away. And that was just a nobody. That was just a random attorney. So you're going up against the Secret Service and the First Lady. But what is kind of that I notice here is that this guy says, now we have specific testimony by people who could would certainly know that Melania Trump lives at Trump Tower. She does not live in the White House. So it kind of makes me think that he knew the process server wasn't going to be able to serve the documents. He's just sending the process server out there so that the security people will tell him she lives here, but you can't go up. And then he's going to say, oh, she doesn't live at the White House. That's the point of it, is that he's going to like tell the world that she lives at Trump Tower, not the White House. Based on what he's saying, I'm guessing that's like why he sent the server out there. Probably knew the process server wasn't going to be able to serve the documents. I'm guessing. He expects Melania to be served by the end of this week. Once he tells the court he has exhausted his options. I don't know what jurisdiction they're in. They might have like you make attempts and then you mail, or you just ask the judge, this person's a celebrity, like, can I just mail post and send it to the attorneys? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how that's lawyer stuff. That's like judge stuff, but there's alternate ways to serve people. I assume that they know that that's what they're going to do, and that maybe sending this process server out there was just a way to, get the guy to say, oh, she's not here. Oh, but she lives here? Yeah, she lives here. Oh, I told you she lives there, not at the White House. Which, I'm not doing politics right here. I'm just saying from the process server's perspective, you know that your client has a different motive for sending you there. I don't know anything about this guy or what they're doing, but just in my experience, that's like hypothetically, that's something that could happen as a process server, is that they're sending you out there knowing you're not going to serve it, but they want to be able to say something at the very least that we tried, but they also have like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to project something to the public, and so by sending him there and saying she's not in, oh, she lives here. That's his agenda. The guy's serving her. I don't know. I'm just saying hypothetically, that's the type of thing a client could do if you're a process server, which is another reason why I don't like to take big giant celebrity jobs. I feel like if you're a big giant celebrity, you probably have that figured out with an attorney already. This is like a problem that you probably face right away, and then you find a real quick, simple solution for it. So sometimes you see stuff in the newspaper about a process server and a celebrity, like, and what's going on, and it seems like that's so abnormal for it to go down anyway, other than just, I think a lot of these people have attorneys and they just say, give it to that guy or that person. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So let's see. Yeah, and then the article becomes about how much time she spends at the White House. So maybe there's a different agenda there. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting because there was a couple process servers or service companies that he used, and one of them said no, and one of them made the attempt. So I probably would have said no. I've said no to stuff like this in the past, but there's been other cases where I've made the attempt and going into it knowing that it probably wasn't going to happen. I'm just going to make the attempt, and it's probably not going to happen. You just want the attempt to happen. So you go in good faith. And when I say by making the attempt, I mean, I'm going in good faith. Like, I'm going here in the case like Trump Tower, it's a residence. I assume they have it's locked elevator. You probably have to check in with the lobby or the loading dock, and you check in. If they don't let you up, like, it's as simple as going to the security guard and saying, hey, I have documents for this person. Can I go up? And they go, oh, you're a process server? Yeah, no, you can't go up. Okay, like, I don't even have to run into the Secret Service. I'm just going to the loading dock and talking to the person who works there and asking if I can go up, and they say no. And they're not supposed to say no, but what are you going to do? They said no. And their client knows that. They just want you to make an effort. And I'm serious. You're really making an effort. You're going there with the intent to serve them, and you have the documents, and you will serve them given the chance. But you kind of done this a couple times before. You know how this usually plays out. So I can see why the second process server company or process server took the job and went, because I've done that before where there's a and you know there's not like a huge chance it's going to get done, but you try your best, and it might be as simple as just going to the loading dock at security and them saying no, and then you close the job, and it's a win-win. So, but yeah, lately, I mean, maybe early on I would have done stuff like that. I would have been more likely to say yes to work like that, but more and more, I just say no to stuff like that. It's just I'm of no help. That doesn't excite me or get me motivated to work, because sometimes you worry that you're getting caught up in between two rich and powerful, famous people arguing, and you're just collateral. You're just the process server in the middle of it, and that's not a great place to be. You just want easy jobs. You just want to go to CT Corp. You just want to serve giant corporations in Glendale. You don't want to mess around with Secret Service. I'm not a young man anymore. I don't find those things like cool stories to talk about. Maybe back in the day it would have been fun, but no, pass. I would have been like the first guy. I probably would have just said no. Good luck, So, that reminds me of when I was asked to serve. I got asked to serve documents for. There was a bunch of. I haven't seen so much of it lately, but in a year or two ago or 3 years ago, let's say within the last 5 years, there was a lot of commercials for Crypto.com or FTX or whatever cryptocurrency or trading platform companies, and there'd be celebrities and a lot of celebrities. I don't want to name names, but you've seen them. These commercials, celebrities doing commercials for exchanges and for crypto companies. And maybe it was a year or two ago. Maybe it was even 2 years ago. Time flies. I can't even remember. But all of these celebrities and people who endorsed these companies were getting served. There was a ton of work going out. I was getting asked to serve a celebrity like every day for like a couple months there for a while. It was like, serve this guy, serve that guy, serve this lady, serve that lady. And it was all in the same areas of LA. Places that I don't love going to. A lot of the time places high up in hilly areas. So I was asked to serve a ton of those recently. And I said no. I said no to all of them, almost all of them. I don't want to serve famous people at a home that I know they're probably not at. Like, some of them were Olympic athletes. Some of them are big time celebrities. Some of them, the chance of them even being there is very slim. You don't know where your client got this address. Even if they're there, it's going to be a hassle. I don't know. I said no to a lot of those just because I didn't think it was going to be doable. I think I could have taken 100 of them and I wouldn't have served one. And these are all residences, so that makes it a little more difficult, and you got to do more attempts early in the day, late in the day, weekend, weekday, and then your client's wanting them to get served, and it's difficult because you find serving famous people, serving celebrities, serving the first lady. These are not, they don't have to be, but they could be almost impossible, especially if you're just somebody serving them, suing them, and you're just trying to, you got an uphill battle to climb there. And don't be surprised if you send the process server somewhere and he's not able to do it for you. You got to coordinate this stuff, especially with famous people and celebrities. You got to have a lot of communication and a lot of work, a lot of setup to be done. You can't just throw a process server out there. It's not gonna be a high likelihood of success. I'd say it's not likely that you're going to succeed with that strategy. So I saw a story about serving Melania Trump, and just reminded me of serving or being asked to serve celebrities in the past. And I've taken some and I've said no to others. Whenever it's a famous person, especially if it's political, I always like to look up who's involved and what, if I can find out what it's about, because you don't want to, some of the stuff is really messy. And I don't know if that affects, I probably would have said it doesn't affect the outcome. I would have said yes or no, but you still look into it. And a lot of times it's no. And then I look into it and I go, I'm glad I said no. You're just a process server. They can really, these are famous and powerful people. Okay. They're more likable than you. You're almost never going to come out looking good. Any story about a celebrity and a process server, the process server is never going to be the one that comes out looking okay. It's like you already know it's not going to be good for the process server. If you're seeing an article or a story about a process server and a celebrity, that's not good for the process server. I mean, no publicity is bad publicity. Maybe I'm just not good at marketing. I'm not as adventurous as a marketer or advertiser that I'm gonna do some celebrity serving stunts, but if no publicity is bad publicity, it's all good, then yeah, go for it. I don't want to be on TMZ for trying to serve, some random celebrity. I don't want that. I'm serving CT Corp. I'm serving LegalZoom. So please, guys, send me LegalZoom. Send me to CT Corp. I'll serve. I'll serve those all day, every day. Please. I don't need that adventure in my life. I don't need to try to serve the first lady. I don't want to ever talk to the Secret Service. I think if I could never talk to the Secret Service in my life, that's probably a good sign, right? I mean, they're good people, good for them, It's not a comment on them, it's just a comment on, if you're talking to them, it can't be good, right? They're great people, but their job is to protect people. So if they're talking to you, then you're probably messing up. As a process server, there's no prospect of that sounding like a fun idea. So yeah, I've turned those down in the past. I've said yes and no. It kind of just depends. But mostly no. I'm mostly like the first guy. I'm mostly probably going to say, hey, good luck, Good luck. That's that. Good luck. No, thank you, and good luck. Yeah, I just don't want to name names of of celebrities. I don't want to, it's not about that. But there's been some very famous people you for sure have heard of that I've been asked to serve, especially the crypto stuff. One of them was particularly an easy no, a very easy one to say no to. But yeah, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to like name names or call people out and plus I don't like to get into like the legal stuff like that. I'm more of a process server. I'm like doing a job. I don't really care about your case I'm not qualified to talk about what's happening with your case. I don't know. I look at kind of what documents I'm serving, but I don't love to read into them. I don't like to do that. I just like to look at what the name of the title of the document is and kind of make sure that I have all the pages there. And, I'm not doing too much reading of what you got. I figure that the less I know, the better. Just send me to a good address and we'll serve them. But yeah, I would have been like the first guy. I would have said no. I don't think I would have taken that job, especially now that I'm independent. Maybe if you're working for a company that your boss says yeah, so then they send you out. Okay. But the more independent you are, like me, you're independent, you can pick and choose like what you do. So that's a no for me. I'm not trying to serve Melania Trump. I don't know. That's not why I got into this business. Yeah, just send me to CT Corp. Send me to LegalZoom. I'm the best at that. I'll knock that out of the park. I'll be there tomorrow. Send me an email right now, info@servect.net. I'll be there tomorrow, Christmas Eve. The last serve before Christmas. be serving someone right before Christmas. I got a couple of residence jobs locally that I'm taking care of. One guy doesn't seem to be there at all. I get a lot of that. I don't know. Maybe that's a big city thing. Maybe that's an LA thing. I don't want to put any like, I don't know what to say about it, but I get a lot of people to serve at residences that just aren't there. And it seems like it's another one. It just lights off. I don't ever go on vacation. I don't know what people do. I guess everyone lives a different life. I never leave my house. I'm always here. Like, yeah, I guess I work, I go out to work, but like people are on vacation or something. Like, where do you guys go? I got a couple residences to pick up on. So I got that one. That's not going good, but wish me luck. I got a couple more attempts to make. I got a couple more residences to serve. I got to go to UCLA to serve documents, such as it'll be nice. Okay, back on campus. Go back and check it out. So I got some work to do tomorrow, the last day before Christmas. I'll be serving people on Christmas Eve. So wish me luck. Traffic's going to be crazy tomorrow. I just have a bad feeling about that. I know for sure in my gut that it's going to be one of those days. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think we covered it all. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Happy holidays. Bye.